Hey guys, it's Margaret, and it's Thursday, March 8th, the 67th day of the Mainichi Project. One take. I did that in one take. Okay, alright. Okay, so today I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about the Japanese festival known as the Hina Matsuri, or the Dolls Festival. The festival is held on March 3rd every year, and it has roots going back as far as the Heian period here in Japan. Hina Matsuri is also colloquially known as Girls' Day. So Hina Matsuri, or Girls' Day, is exactly what it sounds like. It's a holiday that celebrates girls here in Japan. Hina Matsuri is, for lack of a better word, a very princessy themed holiday. It's all about celebrating girls and their position in the family. That being said, there's still 3 or 4 traditions that are still widely practiced throughout Japan. Number 1 is the least common, and it's known as Hina Nagashi, or doll floating. Hina Nagashi is probably the practice that has the most historical influence. Traditionally, people would take the dolls from Hina Matsuri, and they would perform a spiritual ritual, making them sort of effigiic representations of bad luck, and they would float them all down the river. Japanese culture is pretty against being wasteful, though, so in the spirit of mottainai, they decided to start keeping the dolls and preserving them for future generations. There are still Hina Nagashi rituals celebrated throughout Japan, but the dolls used are usually not the elaborate Hina dolls that we're used to, but are rather paper or other common materials. Number 2, food. It wouldn't be a Japanese festival without festival-themed food, you guys. There are 2 dishes in particular that are eaten throughout all of Japan, but there are also a variety of regional dishes and delicacies as well. Number 1 is chirashi sushi. Chirashi sushi is just sushi rice mixed with like vegetables and eggs and fish and all kinds of things, and it's sort of mixed together. The second is a type of wagashi, or a traditional Japanese sweet. It's usually shaped in a diamond, and the 3 colors are pink, white, and green. People also eat sakura mochi. 3, decorations. So people can use any kind of decorations they want on Hina Matsuri, but there are a couple of them that have traditional and historical significance. 1 is the peach blossom, because usually in this season, peach blossoms are starting to bloom. They have that sort of delicate pink color that people associate with Hina Matsuri. You get it. The second are the tsurushi bina, and they're these sort of silk hanging ornaments that people hang from the ceilings. Usually they'll be covered in silk flowers or little dolls themselves. Anything that has to do with Hina Matsuri will be made into a miniature silk form and hung from the ceiling. Last, and most importantly for Hina Matsuri, are the Hina dolls. You guys, the Hina dolls themselves, I have a lot to say about them. I am obsessed with the dolls used for Hina Matsuri. First, let me put this out here, I have the utmost respect for the culture and tradition surrounding these dolls. Historically, they are beautiful cultural works of art that people put a lot of time and effort into, and more to them. However, the traditional dolls, like traditional dolls throughout the world, are a little creepy. And I love it. I love it. I love that sometimes they're made using human hair. I mean, it's great. It's fantastic. I could fill my entire house up with Hina dolls and be totally fine with it. I love a good creepy doll. That aesthetic aside, let me tell you a little bit more about them. Hina Matsuri dolls can come in elaborate sets, right? But the 2 most important dolls are the ones at the top, representing the emperor and the empress. Some people call them the prince and the princess, but because it goes back to the Heian period, they tend to also be associated with the emperor. For celebrating Hina Matsuri, these 2 figures are the most important. All of the other dolls are just icing on the cake, right? How much money do you want to spend on these things? How much space does your family have? So going from these 2 top dolls, the emperor and the empress, the next level of Hina dolls is usually 3 ladies in waiting, followed by court advisors and guards and a row of musicians, and it just depends on how many levels you have. Families will also use the lower tiers for offerings, including sake and the wagashi that I mentioned earlier. So traditionally, families will have these huge elaborate displays. Shin tells me all the time that his family's got a huge one back in town that I have not ever seen. But in the era of modern Japan, there are 2 problems. These dolls are exorbitantly expensive. If you do not receive them as an heirloom gift and you go out and buy them, they can be like $3,000 for just like a standard set, which is like a lot of money for dolls that you only have out for like a month every year. And the display itself is massive. If you are living in a standard Japanese apartment, that takes up half a room alone. Whose room is that? Is it my room? It's not my room. Is it grandma's room? It might be grandma's room. Can you imagine having to sleep with all those doll eyes looking at you for a month? So given these space and financial constraints, a lot of families are getting really creative. I don't know if you noticed in the video from March 3rd, there are also some really beautiful Hina Matsuri wall hangings, which I had never seen before, but now I'm obsessed with. If any of you know where to get them, please let me know. I need one in my life. Thank you. I've also seen displays made out of origami or little miniature sets that you can set up around the house. People are doing all sorts of things to celebrate this holiday. So that's about it on the dolls, but there is one more important thing to keep in mind. There is a superstition, which, you know, people don't take seriously. It's a superstition, but there is a superstition that if you do not get the dolls put away the day after Hina Matsuri, your daughter will get married later on in life, which, like, I hope nobody ever gets married ever again. I don't think we need marriage anymore, especially not to validate women. But that's a different thing. We're talking about Girls' Day. These Hina Matsuri displays are usually put up about a month before. They're also put up in public areas. A lot of traditional Japanese shops and restaurants will have their own displays that you can enjoy when you go to visit. There will be public displays in bigger cities. I remember back in Kumamoto, there was this covered walkway that was part of like the main shopping area. And they would have these huge displays sponsored by different shops and companies of different kinds of Hina Matsuri sets. It was really cool. I really liked it. So usually people have about a month to enjoy the dolls until they're put away again for next year. Though I have heard about this new practice where parents will wait until children go to bed on March 2nd and then put the displays up overnight, kind of like a Christmas Santa thing. Which I think is kind of cool, right? Like you wake up on March 3rd, you run down the stairs, there's a bunch of candy and some cool dolls laid out. Sounds good. In any case, this is one of my favorite Japanese festivals for a variety of reasons. One, I think the dolls are kind of cool to look at. Two, I like that they're celebrating young girls. And three, it's just something that I don't think we have an equivalent for in America. But I want to know, what do you guys think of the festival? Do you think it's interesting? Do you think it's creepy? Do you think it's old-fashioned? Let me know in the comments down below. Also, next week I will be heading to the UK. It's for a wedding, so there's probably going to be a bunch of videos about weddings. But if you have any recommendations or things you'd like me to shoot while I'm down there, let me know. I will do it. Okay, so that's it for today. I will talk to you guys later. Bye.